Hello and welcome back to my channel. So it is time for the final plan with me of 2021, and you might be thinking, well, if it's the final one, shouldn't you have gotten more dressed up to film? Yes, however, it's for December, and December always feels like comfy clothes to me, and so I went with a souped up lounge outfit to film today. This was intentional. This wasn't just me being lazy. Like, I literally redid my nails. All right, you're gonna see them at the table, but like I literally redid my nails, shaved my head and all of that, and I was like, no. We're going with full-on comfy socks, multiple layers, like just epic loungewear. So I am ready to plan for the last month of the year, and this last month also marks the start imminently of Mega Goal Week. So when this goes up for you all this Sunday, so Sunday the 21st, I believe, on Monday the 22nd, we will be starting Mega Goal Week, so I will have 5 days of content for you all to do with setting up for 2022. So it actually worked out really well. I didn't actually plan this, but it did work out really well to finish December plan with me, and then we'll jump into planning for 2022. So before we head over to the table, just a couple of things about November and about different plans. To be perfectly honest, I am going to use the exact same setup that I have been using. So I did already choose a quote for this month. I will show you when we're over at the table, but I went with like a winter quote rather than a December quote, just because I do the quotes every single month, and I've done them for a couple of years, and so I kind of will alternate between like, do I want to do it for winter? Do I want to do it for December? Do I want to do it for Christmas? Like, do I want to do it for these different things? So this year I was feeling more inspired to do kind of a winter quote, and I'm actually really excited for it. I'm not sure how we're going to do it because it is quite long, so we'll have to take a look at that when we're over at the table. Other than that, everything else is going to be set up the same. I will choose the color scheme with you all, and as always, we will do a quick little flip through of how November went. And actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to flip through October, because by the time I did November, I hadn't yet finished October, and so I want to show you like the completed October spreads. So I'm going to flip through 2 months with you all this time through, and then we'll dive right into planning for December. So yeah, I think short intro, let's head on over. So before we dive in, I just wanted to show you my nails. So I did actually have a brief thought where I was like, oh, I'll just do sort of Christmas, like holiday nails just because I'm filming this week. But I actually had done these earlier, and I have this new like neon green nail polish, which is gonna be very hard to see. And unfortunately, I realized after I did my nails this weekend that the neon nail polish is a lot thinner than like normal nail polish. And so you could like see where like my nails are longer than the edge of my finger. And so, and also they were like chipping, because I think that just like the formula on neon is super weird. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just like redo them the exact same way, but I'm gonna do a coat of white under there. So yeah, hopefully the neon green is not too distracting as I'm writing, but yeah, just want to show you the nails up close. So let's go ahead and do a flip through of October, November, and then we'll take a look at December. So starting in October, we are over here. Okay, so obviously we have already seen the intro page, but I wanted to just show you the finished spreads and how I had sort of set everything up. And I wanted to do a quick little recap of the planning page that I had set up, which I think I showed you in November. So this is, I did ultimately do my 7 days of sheet masks, 7 days of eye masks, and my little review. And then weeklies. So this one, I actually still have my little bookmark on this one, or the paper clip, because, so I got through a lot of stuff on my Halloween bucket list. I did not get through everything. I ultimately had, I didn't read Rebecca, I didn't make apple cider, I didn't watch basically most of the movies other than the 2 that I had already watched. And I watched some of one of the K-dramas, but not of the other. And then I did not actually finish the 2. So like the main lounge set that I was making, I actually did finish, but I have extra fabric. And so I didn't end up making the last 2 things that I wanted to make. So those I'm actually kind of leaving as is. But the one that I actually had for my holiday plans, I've actually been crossing stuff off as I do it, even though it's been after the holidays, because it's just stuff that I kind of need to do. So there's some stuff that isn't gonna get crossed off, but some of this stuff was not actually crossed off during my holidays. Some of it was after the fact. So you'll see like reading, I ended up reading other books, just not the ones that I had planned to read on here. I didn't really do any studying. Actually, I did do, where's my pen? I actually did kind of watch a little bit of the K-drama that I'm watching in Korean with Korean subtitles. do like halfway. I did some sewing, but I haven't done all the rest of the sewing, you know. And actually like this walking skirt one, it's not currently like crossed out at all, but it's actually over halfway done. Anyway, so that, and then this was my final week. So I went to make sure I showed you the final week, which was the Gibson Girl Witch page. And I literally had a bunch of space left and was just like, we're just going to place stickers because I wanted to use all of them. And like, I just sometimes flip back to this page because I like the stickers so much. So that was the end of October. So jumping into November, we went a lot more minimal, which I do really like after all of like the chaotic sticker happenings on October. And then I've got my monthly log. So it is currently Wednesday. So let's see, I have already redone my nails and I'm filming. Okay, that's meant to be an M. So I actually don't have work on Wednesday or Thursday this week, so that's why I'm filming on a Wednesday. Normally I wouldn't have time, but my 11th graders are actually out on their internships, and so I was able to get all of my grades done yesterday, and so that means that today and tomorrow I don't have any pressing work stuff to do, so I can work on some other stuff that I need to catch up on. So doing pretty well with intentions. I've actually done a fair bit of grading, I've done a fair bit of sewing as well, and I am working on my filming. I had a lot to do with Mega Goal Week, and I actually was able to get that all set up. So Mega Goal Week is actually going up this week for my patrons, so they've already got the first 3 videos, and so I had to have everything done by this week basically. So I was able to get that all done, which is great because that means then that next week when I post it for you all, like I just have to post stuff and it's good to go. So that actually is like a huge stressor off. And then I do have some other stuff I want to work on for my second channel. I just haven't gotten to that yet. Then I've got my tracker, so doing fairly well. I definitely had a couple of like evenings where I wasn't doing my skincare during my holidays. It is what it is. Haven't done a ton of reading. I actually finished reading, well, listening to this book that I got. This is actually, okay, so this is a really good book. I got this a while ago and I started it and was like, oh my gosh, I love this. But I started it right before it was due back at the library and I didn't have time to finish it. So I had to wait for like a month or so until it came back around. So it's called The Chosen and the Beautiful, and I don't have the author written down here, but if you look up The Chosen and the Beautiful, you'll definitely find it. It is so interesting because it is a retelling of The Great Gatsby, but like with magic. So the main character is actually an Asian American who was adopted, and then like there's this part of the story where you're like, it's a little sketchy, but she was adopted and brought back to the United States. And so it also goes into like this like legislation that was being passed at the time that was like really against like immigrants and Asians, but it also like puts in like demons and like witches, and like I don't know, it's a really interesting concept. And I listened to the audiobook and actually really enjoyed the audiobook format. So yeah, that was literally the only book that I finished reading this month, but it was really good. So I have my space for my review, which obviously I have not gotten to yet. I have my anti-racism tracker, so I've done a couple of things this month. So then for weeklies, just very simple, going back to my normal. If I have extra space, I just kind of leave it. This was last week. And I've actually been doing pretty well, like getting stuff done on my weeklies. Like I had some filming stuff that I ended up pushing off, but I actually did a bunch of kind of other stuff. So that's actually been really good. And then this week so far, I have done, actually I can cross off the grades. Oh, I know why I didn't cross it off yet, but I think I'm going to, is I actually have 2 more classes that I have to finish grades for, but they're due next week and I don't think I'm gonna do them quite yet. Let's see, we're working on filming. I've left space to, like if I wanna film a second video, but I honestly like don't know that I will, just because I've been filming so much lately, I kinda need a break. And then I've got some stuff over here that I need to work on, like, you know, a couple of phone calls to make, which is terrible. I hate making phone calls, but you know, it's fine. So yeah, so we are doing really well. I'm actually gonna add that I shaved my head. I do track this just so that cause like it starts to bug me if I go past like 2 weeks. And so if I'm ever getting to the point where it's starting to bug me that my hair is getting longer, and I'm like, when was the last time that I shaved my head? I can actually look back in here and be like, oh right, it's been 2 weeks, it's time. So I actually did it today because this weekend I have to do open house at work, and so I figured it would make my life a little easier if I just got it done before filming today. So it is Wednesday, so we're good on this. So it's still like, I honestly have not done that much yet, just because between doing, redo. So between like shaving my head and then redoing my nails, that took a hot second. So we are just jumping into filming now, and we are currently filming. So we are up to date. So what we need to check is how many pages I actually need. And you know what, we're getting to this point where like this side is really like bumpy because it's getting kind of, we're getting to that, like most of the pages are on that side of the notebook. So we're just gonna take out my notebook. So I need to know, all right, let's look at here. So I am currently on this week, which means I have one more week left in November because these last 2 days are gonna get pushed into my December, like that first week in December. So I only need to have one more page or one more spread. So that actually is really nice. So we're gonna have one more spread for November, and then we are gonna dive right into December. So I'm gonna just put my bookmark here. We're just gonna like triple check. So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I should have 4 weeks in November. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're good. So, sorry. I have definitely done this where I think I like thought I counted it right, and then I start writing and I'm like, oh wait, I added a page or I didn't add enough pages. So I wanna make extra sure. So this is where December is going to go. So let's take a look at the quote. There we are. So of course I used light blue pen to write it down so it's not super legible. So sorry, there's a little moped like going in front of my house and it was really loud. So the quote is by Edith Sitwell, and of course I always find these on Goodreads. So, winter is the time for comfort, for good food and warmth, for the touch of a friendly hand, and for a talk beside the fire. It is the time for home. So you can also see why I was like, no, it's a loungewear day for filming, because like that just, it feels like a loungy quote, like a comforty quote. So that is gonna be our quote. We're gonna take a look at how I'm gonna do it after we pick our color code. So I think we should do that. So I feel like typically for December, I do some combination of like black, gray, burgundy, and gold, or like rose gold. So like this guy. But I kind of want to do like purple. Ooh, maybe instead of doing rose gold, just do like a really deep, like, oh wait, no, I have an idea. Okay, so wait, what if we did like a deep purple? And then like a nice green. Do I want to do this one? It's a little brighter than I want. I think I might actually want the one that I was originally like, this seems right. Yep, that's the one I want. And then here, I feel like I'm gonna run out of ink on my gold, or my rose gold pen. And then I feel like we need another color. So I don't know if I want to do gray or if I want to do like a rich goldeny yellow. So what if I pick like a super dark gray? I almost never use these pens. I mean, that like charcoal gray we love. Or okay, because I'm like going for this one and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've used this on like 3 different months this year already. What about this one? No, this is the one I've used on 3 different months. Are we gonna use it again? Possibly. Oh, but look how pretty that is. All right, hold on, let's do it in kind of an order so that we can see everything. I mean, it's not like in your face Christmas, but I really like it. We're gonna go with that. Okay, so that was easy. So in terms of other pens that I need, actually, I think we're good. Wait, no, I wanna do gray. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna do gray, and maybe I'll use this one because I've got the teal, and I think that would go with the green one that I used. I think we're gonna do that. Next up is, how am I actually gonna do the quote? So I actually, when I wrote it down, I haven't been doing this lately, but I was like, yeah, this one's long enough, I think I wanna do it. I sort of skip the lines where I am planning to actually skip the lines. So I kind of want to have these all be on the same line like this, but there is a chance that it's gonna be just like a little bit too long, so I might have to mess around with that. So the first thing is, with how long this quote is, I am definitely not gonna be doing brush lettering, and I think that what I'm gonna end up doing, so I'm not gonna use these two for the quote. So I think what I'm gonna end up doing is, like, I might use this gray one, but I will probably end up doing this as the like accent, and then use some of these. I think that's gonna kind of be the plan. So I wanna do that. So I think that maybe my base color is actually going to be the green. So let me go ahead and do like that. Okay, excuse you. There. Okay, so what if I did kind of like this? And if I can, I want to put this up on one line, and then basically all of the, like, all the little words are going to be in this green. Kind of like that. And then I think I'll do green for the attribution. Okay. Okay. Let's wait. Because I honestly think I'm going to have some like spacing issues. So if I use just like the bullet side of the pens. So winter is the time. See, it's going to be too long. That's what I was worried about. How do I want to do this? Ooh, okay. What about, now, hear me out. What if I do my spread as, all right, let's zoom out so we can actually see. What if I do my spread as like the whole thing, and then do like winter is the time for comfort, for good food and warmth. Like what if I kind of centered it over the whole thing and then do at the bottom December 2021? Why don't we try it? Like honestly, yeah, why don't we try it? Okay, so I think that's gonna be the way that we're gonna do with this. Now, because this is such like a different thing for me, I am actually gonna do a time lapse for the setup just because I think me trying to talk while I'm doing it is gonna mess me up. So I'd rather like have it hopefully come out a little bit better and have you see the process than try and like walk you through it as I'm doing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and send us over to time lapse, and I'll be back at the end to show you how everything went. So here is my December intro page. So as always, when I wing it, which is the only way I know how to letter, there's, you know, some little issues with spacing. So first, I did wait until the very end to do winter because I wanted to kind of make it bigger and like to see how much space I wanted it to take up. I kind of wanted to finish the rest of the quote so then I could sort of gauge how much space I wanted that first word to take up. That was the first thing. The second thing is you might have noticed that I started at the inside here on both of them and worked out so that, because I was worried if I started out here, then I would have too much of a space here or it'd be too squished over here. So I just started kind of at the middle, which is why on my paper here, I have these lines that marks like where the break in like left page, right page is. Now, for most of the lines, I was actually pretty good. Like this one is a little bit long over here, but like, I mean, if I had put the A over on this side, it would have been a little bit more even. This one's actually pretty good. This one's pretty good. This one is relatively, like, you know, it's not exact, but it's also because I didn't want to split any words. Like I was working with what I had to. So I got to the end and I was like, okay, we definitely have some issues with spacing. So I was like, okay, before I figure out what I'm going to do for attribution or anything else, I'm going to go ahead and just do December 2021. And this one I actually did do across because I was like, I don't want to try and squish it in. December is kind of long, especially when I use the tombows. And so I actually did try as carefully as I could fill in so that it's just like continuous. And I think it actually came out pretty well. I am glad I didn't do it for up here because that would have just been super messy, but for just December, I'm glad that I did it that way. A little drop shadow. And then I finished and I was like, okay, I have kind of this big old space here and this is actually kind of more filled in. So that was why I just did my little design and then I just pushed Edith Sitwell over to make it look more intentional that like I meant to set it up this way, which I am now telling the entire internet was an after the fact sort of thing. But you know what? I'm actually really happy with how it came out. I don't know why I've never thought to do a spread this way before. I think just because in my brain, it's very much like quote intro. So when I flip to this, I see what month it is. Like, I don't know what it is, but my brain does not typically work in like this as a full page. I typically with almost all of my spreads have like information here, and there's like some kind of a divider. I think the one exception being my tracker does run across, but like, I don't know, that's just the way that my brain works. So I actually am really glad that I had this thought and that we went for it because I think it turned out pretty well actually. So then I've got my December monthly log and intentions. I obviously will go back and fill these in later. So let's take a look at November's intentions just to kind of see where we're at. So this month I actually had 5 because I wanted to make sure I added in doctor's appointment day, but I don't need that one for next month because I did them all, so we're good. So no grading backlog, nationality, sewing, and filming backlog. I think that I'm actually probably going to have very similar things next month as well, but I'm gonna kind of hold off until I see how the end of the month goes. Like if I have a burst of productivity for some of this filming stuff that I've been putting off for a little bit, like some of it just takes like some extra brain power that I haven't had. You know, we'll see if I can get, so ideally I would love to get to a point where I don't have any grading to bring home with me over the December holidays. But again, we shall see. So I'm gonna hold off for right now, but I think there's a pretty good chance that at least 3 of the 4 intentions will stay the same in December. So there is that. I will have to go back through and add in my holidays. I think they start on the 18th. I'm gonna confirm on my calendar though, and then I'll put those in. Then I have my tracking page. So I did end up going with the black overlay tapes just because I really wanted to kind of focus on these colors that I had for my color scheme. And so that was why I just went with the black because they kind of fade into the background. So everything else is the same as always. I'm honestly not changing this. I don't even have plans to change this in 2022. It just works. You know what I mean? It just works. So yeah, I've got that in. I've got my standard tip in for my anti-racism tracker so that I can do my monthly review underneath, or if I weirdly need another thing to track or whatever, like I have some extra space on this page and I can still have my little tracker over here. So there's that. And then I did actually go ahead and set up a holiday plans page. So basically, because we went through October, I was like, oh right, it was actually really nice to have this as like, here's some of the stuff that I really want to get done during my holidays, and like have it be separate from my weekly things. So if there's things that I'm like, oh, I really want to work on that, but I'm like, I know I don't have time right now, I'm too busy with work, throw it on like the holiday tracker or the holiday spread, whatever you want to call this. So I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do, because I'm thinking about it now, is rather than wait and do it at the end of the month, I'm actually gonna set it up now so that throughout the end of November and into December, I can plot things that I know I'm not gonna get to before the holidays on my holiday plans. And also, like, I typically do something with one of my friends where if we don't go to visit our families in our respective countries, then we do something together, and so we like have some sort of a plan. So like I have a couple of ideas for that. I have a couple of ideas, like I wanna work on some sewing stuff, I wanna work on some filming stuff, like all of that kind of stuff. So I wanted to go ahead and set up a spread here. As you can see, I literally just labeled it. I haven't even set anything up, but it's basically gonna be like all of my spreads like this, where I'm going to have some kind of organization to like the types of things that I'm doing. But because I honestly just thought of it as I was filming, I haven't thought about what that's actually gonna look like. So you will end up getting to see this fully set up whenever I do my full bullet journal flip through, probably in early 2022. But I just wanted to kind of point that out really quick. So I actually because my brain has been so full of Mega Goal Week stuff, I honestly just don't have anything else to say this month. So I'm gonna wrap things up over here. So if you have any comments or questions, let me know down below, and I will see you bright and early on Monday for Mega Goal Week. I hope y'all are ready, because I am super excited to start planning for 2022. So I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Hey guys, so if you've made it all the way to the end of this video and are actually watching my end screen and you're not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. There's a little button right there for you to do it. And if you're interested in watching some more of my videos, I have links to 2 of my older videos off to the left there, so you can check those out if you would like to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!